Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Most from commoncode.com. Today I'm going to talk about promises, and they are very important in terms of creating advanced applications. If you really want to create advanced applications, you need to learn promises. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. So what are promises? Promises in JavaScript are just a special type of objects that will execute async operations and return or reject the final value. And in order to understand it better, let's take an example. Suppose that we want to add two numbers, just a normal function. We would normally use or create a function, just create here a function, and by the way, this is just script.javascript.js, so it's a JavaScript file. And here, function, let's name it add values, and it will add two numbers, let's say v1 for value 1 and v2. And normally we would just type result or let result equals to 1 plus 2, 1 v1 plus v2, and we would just return the value, or the result. That's it. But this is not asynchronous. We want a way to let the user browse the website or the application without the user interface being freezed, because this is synchronous and it must return the value before the user will be able to continue browsing. But of course, this will return the value immediately because there aren't so many operations. But in other situations, there might be lots of things that the JavaScript will do behind these scenes, and it will block the user interface, and we don't want that to happen. Therefore, we could use promises. And in order to use a promise, it's very simple. Instead of just using a normal function, what we would do is that we would create a normal function like this, but instead of adding the numbers and return the value immediately, we would use a promise. So we create an object, promise, new promise, and then this promise will take a function, a callback function that will return resolve. It will take two parameters. The first one will resolve, meaning that it will return the value successfully, or reject in case there is an error. So here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pass the callback function. So the callback function will have two functions. The resolve will be executed upon success, or reject upon failure. And then this is an arrow function, so it's just a function, but it's an arrow function, and this is the callback function. And suppose that we want to add these two numbers, we would add those two numbers inside the promise. So let's say that we have here let result equals to v1 plus v2. And then what we would do here is that we would use the resolve, but maybe we want to check if these values are set or not. Maybe the user didn't enter these two numbers. We can just use if statement. So if result, if there is a result, then we can use the resolve, and we can here pass just the result, the result of v1 plus v2. And if there is an error, we can say else. Maybe the user didn't enter v1 or v2, or whatever you want to check. Maybe you want to check if v1 plus v2 equals to, let's say 4 or 5, or whatever you want to check. And then here, if there is an error, we can say reject and pass whatever you want. Maybe you can simply say error, and that's it. The only thing that we need to do is to return. So we just need to return this promise, and outside we call this function normally add values, and we pass the values that we want to add. Maybe we want to add 1 and 2. But this is not everything, because now if I save and run, as you can see, I'm not gonna get anything. In order to make this work, we use the then, and then inside then we will receive the value. We will receive either the resolve or the reject. So here inside the then we have the result, and then inside the result we can just use the console.log and print the value, the result, either success, which will return or resolve the value, the result, or reject it, which will return error. So let's now save and run. I'm gonna make this bigger, and as you can see, I'm gonna get 3. Why? Because obviously 1 plus 2 equals to 3, and here it will check that there is a value, there is a result, then it will resolve. But suppose that I didn't pass anything, and if I save and run, as you can see, I'm gonna get an error, and here it will say unhandled promise rejection warning error. This is the error. And of course, using promises, you can create more advanced applications and make your applications more attractive in terms of the user interface, because you will not block the user interface. So this is just an introduction about promises. There are many things you need to know about promises, and I will talk about them later. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and share, and also check the description below, because I have created a free ebook on how to money coding. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you